Right, so here we're going to look at our first application problem for integration of exponential functions. And here we're asked to find the area under the curve y equals e to the power of negative x minus 2 between the x-axis and the y-axis and the line x equals 2, which is this shaded region that has been highlighted in the diagram. Now, just a reminder, the fact is the question has actually used the word area, so we need to be careful here, because when we find the integral between two limits, we need to, if it's below the x-axis, then it will actually give us a negative value. So because we're finding the area, we need to remember to use absolute value symbol. So here we've got the area under the curve here will be equal to the integral between 0 and 2 of e to the negative x minus 2 dx. But because we want the area of this, we therefore have to take the absolute value of it, because that region is underneath the x-axis and will be evaluated as being negative if we don't include the absolute value. So, going through the process of integrating this, if we integrate e to the negative x, we take the differential of negative x, which is minus 1, and divide by that, so we end up with minus e to the negative x minus 2x between 2 and 0, and then we'll go ahead and substitute those values in. So minus 2 and get negative e to the negative 2 minus 2 lots of 2 minus negative e to the 0 minus 2 lots of 0. And then if we go ahead and put the absolute value in to close that off. Now, what we end up with in this first bracket we've got here is negative e to minus 2 is negative 1 over e squared minus 4. E to the negative, e to the 0 here is the same as 1, and we've got two minuses together, so we end up with a plus there. So we've got plus 1, and 2 times 0 is just 0. So therefore we end up with an absolute value of negative 1 on e squared. Minus 4 plus 1 is just negative 3. And then it's the absolute value of this. So because both of these terms are negative, the absolute value of this will be 1 on e squared plus 3 units squared. Because again, it was asking for area. Alright, so just to recap on that again, we're looking at area. It's been defined as area in the question, so therefore we need to take that into consideration with regions that are underneath or below the x-axis. If this region was above the x-axis, so it's instead was something that looked like that, we wouldn't actually need the absolute value to calculate the area of this, because it would already come out as a positive value.